Hey y'all, it's Suzanne Tidkemeyer. If you don't know who I am, I wrote for Pathos for nearly 10 years, wrote about the Quiverful movement and about toxic religion. Today, I am here to talk more about Costa Rica because I get questions all the time. Why would you move to Costa Rica? What's that all about? Why would you move overseas? Well, this is going to be the long answer why we did the move. And you can see I've cut 6 inches off my hair because it was all dead on the bottom. Um, There's a long list of reasons why we would move here. As you can see, I'm still sitting here in my nightgown. It is 11:12 here, so I'm not dressed. And I don't have to be dressed. That's probably the best thing about living here to me. Yesterday was a horrible asthma day, but because I'm living here, it was awesome because I got up. Hey, Caroline, I got up at 10. I took my asthma meds. I laid down at 2. I slept till 8 p.m. I got it from 8 p.m. to like midnight and then went back to bed. So I have those days, and here they're a little easier than they were in the States. Well, people like to give you a hard time about it. Say, what? You're still in your nightgown? I'm pounding on your door. It's like, well, the nice thing about here is the door is all the way up there. And just say no. 8 p.m. Yep. Kira, it was just really strange how much I slept yesterday. But it turned out to be a good thing because, like I said, it was a bad asthma day. I knew it was coming because on Monday, I had gotten really angry with somebody and I was unable to express that anger. I saw somebody talking to my husband. I saw some inappropriate things the other person was doing. So I was not happy with them. And it's somebody I know, but I may have misunderstood the situation. Nothing my husband did, but I came out and yelled at him instead of her. I should have yelled at her. And I'm going to have that conversation with her. Okay, so why did I move to Costa Rica? There are a lot of reasons, but the number one reason is health and peace of mind. It is a very peaceful place. There's no military here. The government puts their monies, their tax monies towards educating the people, towards health care. Those are goals that I actually believe in. And what the heck? Everybody is jumping out. I guess they're expecting me to fight with a certain porcine pavement person. I'm not interested in that. So we moved here because of health. Again, I'm here at 11 o'clock in my nightgown and it's A-okay. I'm getting ready to go to the beach. I'm changing into my swimsuit. I may not wear proper clothes all day. I may just wear my swimsuit. It's a very laid back atmosphere, and that appeals to me because in reality, a lot of stuff that people really fight and fuss and throw themselves into doesn't matter a hill of beans in the long run. I've told people that the church we go to here, people show up routinely in bikini tops and cutoffs, and it's no big deal. It's just how it is. I like the informality of that. People here are nice. If you need help, Ticos will always help you. It is a very interestingly different place. You don't see the screaming and carrying on and fighting and all of that goes on in the States that I keep seeing every time I go back. That doesn't exist here. None of that does. So that's a good thing. We've come back and forth on vacation here a number of times before we decided to make the big jump and we came here. We decided that of all the places we wanted to live, we needed to be within 5 miles of the beach, and we're about a mile and a half from the ocean here. In fact, just up the hill from us, those people have ocean views. We don't have ocean views, but we have a large piece of property. And that's the other thing that's really awesome about Costa Rica. A millionaire can live like a zillionaire here. Or a millionaire can live like a billionaire, a billionaire can live like a zillionaire. And people with, I'm just going to say, I don't want to say an average amount of retirement, but let's just say this is a place where you can come to retire without having $3 million or $4 million, live quite comfortably. Cost of living is a lot lower here on everything except gasoline and electricity. Those are pretty much US prices on those things. But everything else is usually pretty much cheaper. So you got your peace. You got the beach for me. So that was a big one. Mountains or beach, and we're getting ready to do mountain and beach. So that's always been a big one. I like going to the beach. I like walking on the beach. There's all kinds of health benefits for it. I was looking at them this morning. I have family close to Costa and Chiriqui, Panama. Oh, yes, I know exactly where that is. I'm still wanting to go to Boca de Toro, Panama. That's on my list, as well as Bluefields, Nicaragua. If Nicaragua would just straighten out where they're not having all that violence they've been having for the last 3 years, I'd be there in a heartbeat because I really want to see. I want to see the city. It was pretty much founded by pirates, American pirates. So that would be something to see, I think. And I'm a big believer in travel. Travel broadens your mind, and that can only be a good thing. You don't stay stuck in your little tiny mindset of this is how things have to be. And that's always a good thing. Culture and becoming more educated is always a good thing. Staying stuck and stupid is never. It's not a good look for anybody. Hey, T King. Yes, travel. I love traveling too, T King. It's one of my big things. Unfortunately, since this beer virus pandemic happened, hey, Ginger Lee, I'm doing better. No asthma today. Like I had horrible asthma yesterday. As I was explaining, I'm getting ready to go walk on the beach. That's one of the benefits. So for us, it made a lot of sense because we were able to sell our house for 3 times what we paid for it, and come here and buy something for a fraction of that money. We're sitting on a large lot, maybe about an acre total. We've got a guest house. We've got our big house here, which has got like, I don't know, like, I think I was reading the plan said it was 27,000 square feet. No, not 27,000, 2,700. I'm sorry. I get that so confused. Our old house back in Virginia was a small 1,600 square feet. We raised our kids in that. DC is a crazy, crazy, crazy. The metro DC area where we live, prices jump. It's just insane. We knew we didn't want to stay. We travel 3 more times a year, always somewhere new. T King, we used to do that for Christmas before the pandemic hit. What we would do is we would pick a city that nobody in our family had been to. We'd pick an Airbnb lodging and we'd all go there for the week. And it was pretty fabulous. We got to see some parts of the country we've never seen before. I'm hoping after the pandemic winds down a little more than it has, that we'll be able to do that again. Right now it's back on full boil, and I'm looking at these travel things and thinking, I really want to travel back to the States. My daughter is in the middle of planning her wedding. We have many long conversations via phone and oh, what's that thing you do on your iPhone that's a video call? We do that a lot, talking about everything from flower arrangements. The other day it was flowers. We were talking about flower arrangements. We were looking at different options. She booked the hall finally and booked the venue and solidified the date. So now we have to talk guest list, flowers, food. She's going around and doing some taste testing at various catering companies that were recommended. So FaceTime, that is it. That's what we're doing. So the pandemic has made this a lot more problematic because normally I would just fly there and we would do some of these things in person. And I am planning on going there at least once, maybe twice before the wedding. But the pandemic makes it a lot more problematic because I'm already fully vaccinated and all of that. I don't have to buy the health insurance that if you were coming here and you're not fully vaccinated and you're an American citizen, most of the time you have to buy this insurance. If you're not fully vaccinated, it's about $1,000 a head for a short little. It was only like $80 the first time I bought it. So, and I don't see this lifting anytime soon. The State Department moved the Costa Rican status to level 4, do not travel yesterday. I got the email from the State Department. So there's that, but as high as the rates are here, they're nothing compared to some of the rates in the States. So there is that. And here's another big benefit of moving to Costa Rica, the healthcare system. The healthcare is socialized. The healthcare is good. The healthcare that the locals get and the people who have their residencies can access, which is the socialized medicine. They call it here the CAHA, which always confuses me because CAHA can mean box, CAHA can mean the cashier. It means all sorts of different things. So I'm kind of wondering why they would call their healthcare system the CAHA, but that's what they do. So anyway, long story short with that, it's very similar to medicine in the U.S. military. It's utilitarian. It is not kind where you're not going to have fancy hospital rooms. I went to visit a friend of mine who was in there, and there were 4 of them to a room. So it's very utilitarian, but it's not much a luxury. Whereas if you have private insurance or you have money, healthcare here is every bit as identical as it is in the States, except the prices are lower. What I pay to go to the doctor here is lower than the copay in the States. And that's before my insurance company even thinks about reimbursing me. So there's that. The healthcare here is first class. In fact, it's kind of funny. A lot of people come here from the States to have plastic surgery. You can get very inexpensive dental implants and dental surgeries here. I know a lot of people that come here for medical procedures that they can't afford in the States. I mean, that's a real thing. Tourism, medical tourism is a big thing here to Central and South America because there are better options, very inexpensive things. And the care is just the same, if not better. If nothing else, they take more preventative care of you here like they used to do when we lived in Europe. Europe was big on that. So I've got to experience socialized medicine in Europe and here in Central America. And I can just say it is every bit as comparable as what you'll get in the States, but it may be a whole lot more affordable. So that's one of the big reasons. There's none of the political fighting here that you see in the States. There's just none of that. People tend to be more risk takers who moved here. It's not something that's for everyone. Some people cannot adjust to the culture. If you can adjust to the culture, it's a pretty sweet life here. I mean, I was saying here I am in my nightgown. I'm going to the beach in a few minutes. You can go to the beach or the mountains or whatever it is that floats your boat. A couple of weeks ago, we took off. We went to the volcanoes. We went to volcano Arenal and to sit in the volcano springs. Are nice and hot. And do a number of things. Go for a sloth walk. There's all kinds of things you can do. They tried to hike a dead volcano, which is Cerro Chato, and didn't go real well. And I have climbed Arenal before, the volcano. It's a hard climb, but it is possible, even if you don't have the world's greatest balance. There are some places where there are handrails. So there's any kind of climate you could want here too. I've talked about this a bunch of times. Microclimes are a real thing here. There's the mountain climate with fresh mountain air. There's even places up in the mountains in the Central Valley where it may not get cold enough to snow, but there is plenty of coolness, if that's what you need. I know people who've said, well, I can't come see you because I can't handle the hot weather. Hey, hot weather on the beach is not for everyone. I am fully on board with that. But if you go up into the mountains, and I always tell people, if you go to the mountains and you move to some place like Santa Maria or Costa Rica, the air is very cool there. At night in Costa Rica, it can get down in the 40s. And it's kind of funny because there's no heat. I mean, nobody has heaters. So that's kind of funny, even though everybody here has air conditioning, and that is the most fabulous thing of all for these times. My brother is living in Central Mexico, Chapala, living very comfortably in a small community on Social Security. Deborah, Mexico is a really good option. I know a lot of people who've moved there. For us, we had come here on vacation at times where we felt comfortable making the jump here. Before the violence in Nicaragua 3 years ago, Nicaragua was actually a good option too, because we had talked about that at one point because we were in San Juan del Sur, and they had lots. They were selling this big American community on the top of a mountain overlooking San Juan del Sur, so you have an ocean view. The lots were in San Juan del Sur, so you have an ocean view. The lots were going for $8,000, and that was with electrical hookup, sewer hookup, the ability to have high speed internet. So they had all those things. Yeah, it's interesting. Costa Rica is struggling to be a first world country. They're not quite there yet. They will be eventually of it. Things here are modernizing every time you turn around. Now, we're in a kind of a rural area here. Tamarindo is in Guanacaste. It's a lot of farmland. You get to see horses everywhere, cattle. It's actually kind of nice. And if you want to go horseback riding, that's a very popular thing here. One of the other popular things you can go see that is absolutely hysterical. I tell everybody if they're coming for vacation here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lexi. I've had to cut it recently because I was getting my brush was caught in the ends and I was having trouble combing it. So it was like, I have to trim it. One of the most fun things you can do here in Costa Rica, especially in Guanacaste on the weekend, and it's in place to place, and a lot of times it's around the Christmas season. It seems to be for, especially in Guanacaste on the weekend, and it's in place to place, and a lot of times it's around the Christmas season. It seems to be for some reason a Christmas thing. Is go to the bullfights. What do I mean go by the bullfights? Well, there's one near us. They have the week before Christmas. And Costa Rica, being the kind of nation it is, where there's a lot of emphasis on green living, all of the electricity is from renewable energy. No oil is burned, no coal to make the electricity here. That's one reason why it's a little more expensive than a lot of places. There's also rules in place. You cannot harm animals. You'll see when you're driving here, you'll see signs that say right away, and it'll show all the pictures of little animals. Crusade de fauna. It means animals have right of way. That's how the laws run. Turned bullfighting into an interesting thing here because they can harm the animals. So bullfighting is normally this very violent thing where they using spears and swords, and it's very dangerous too. People get gored. But in Costa Rica, it's a little bit different. First of all, since they can't harm the bull, the most they can do is sometimes I've seen them stick balloons on the bull's back or on his horns. And instead of a matador, you have all these drunken local guys that are in the ring. Most of them are very young, hopping up and down like popcorn, trying to avoid the bull's horns and trying to pluck the balloon or whatever the task is. Like, am I cutting in and out? I'm sorry. I was wondering because I noticed my count is going in and out. So I'm going to wrap this up and come right back with part 2 of this. If this is doing in and out, then I need to reset my router. Okay, I'll be right back because I have to finish talking about bullfighting. Bullfighting is the funniest thing to happen here.